What's up, YouTube? Before we start, you already know, smash the like button for more fire content. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. For all the newcomers, welcome to Team Eyeland. Make sure to follow Team Eyeland on IG page, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch for more defensive back tips and tricks. Make sure to tune in to our weekly live stream. We'll be streaming on IG, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, so make sure you have the notification bell so you don't miss our next stream. Today's video, I'm gonna be explaining the reason why you're struggling in press man, right? A lot of times, there's little things, little mistakes that a lot of DBs do that cause them to get beat in certain situations, certain releases, because they're not disciplined with certain things. So today's video, I'll be explaining every aspect in press and how you could put yourself in better position to play press man. First thing, a lot of times, pre-snap, we don't recognize where the receiver's lined up at. He's at the bottom of the numbers. This is the sideline, right? We're very close to the sideline, so most likely we should be expecting an inside breaking route, right? A lot of times DB will line up head up to outside leverage, not even realizing where they're at. So now we know, okay, I'm very close to the sideline, right? I should be expecting inside breaking route, so let me adjust my leverage a little bit more inside shade of the receiver, right? So now, think of it as you're getting a head start off the route. So you take an inside shade because you know you're expecting it. You still want to be square and you want to be able to move with the receiver, right? So in your head, you're thinking, okay, I'm expecting inside release, right? So let me just protect this leverage. If he does go outside, boom, I can still use the sideline as an extra defender. If he wants to line up at the bottom of the number, this close to the sideline and still run an outside breaking route, that's fine with us. It makes our job easier, right? So we go force him to take a wide release.
That alley to the outside just kind of squeezes him towards the boundary, and look how tough of a throw that would be, even if you were able to get it.
While we're still protecting our leverage, and then we're gonna just lean and locate, force him to the sideline, make a harder throw for the quarterback because he doesn't have that much space to complete the pass. Next one, our eyes, right? Our eyes are very important, right? A lot of times, our eyes are not where it needs to be, right? You wanna look at the hips. I prefer the near hip, because now that I'm focusing on something smaller target, so now I can move with that hip, right? If you look at the hips, that's perfectly fine, right? But you still wanna keep your eyes down. Once you look up, you see his shoulders and he start doing all this, your footwork is gonna be going, all that juke and everything he's doing. So keep your eyes down because the hips ain't gonna go nowhere, right? The hips are gonna be where you need to go, right? So if I'm looking at his hips and he gives me a move, boom, I'm here, I'm looking at the hip. If your eyes are high, I'm looking at his shoulders right here and he does all this stuff, I'm a little bit delayed, right? So now my eyes are high, I'm falling for every little move, my footwork is gonna be off because your eyes are gonna make your feet move, right? If you have disciplined eyes, your feet is gonna be good. But once your eyes are undisciplined, it's all over. Now your technique is off, your hand placement is off. You start opening up the gate a little bit because you get a little nervous. Just zoom in on that hip, zoom in on the hip, and that'll put you in better position to cover and press. Now, the next step is our feet, our footwork, right? We gotta make sure we stay square. A lot of times DBs, when they start getting a release, they start to turn their feet, right? Or they start to open the gate. Quickest way for a receiver to get to point A to point B is straight. Square with the receiver, and we make the receiver move laterally. Now it's gonna make his job harder and our job easier, right? So if I'm here and he gives me a release, boom, boom, I'm moving. Look how much laterally he went. Instead of going straight, he has to go here, he has to try to avoid me. If we just open the gate, if we go open the gate, now look, now we're playing back and we got space from us to the receiver, and now he got an easy way to go inside if he needs, right? So we always want to try to stay square, move laterally, right? To make the receiver go outside of us. So think of it as this. I always explain it as this. If you're like a letter T, you want the receiver to go outside the letter T, right? So if I'm here, boom, he gives me a release. I want him to go out here. That's the key, because now he's going out there, he's getting closer to our help, which is the sideline, and it's taking more time for him to get to where he needs to be. So focus on staying square and moving laterally so you can make the receiver go around your T. Now, hands, right? Always think of it as this: eyes, feet, hands, right? You want to put yourself in position to use your hands. A lot of DBs in press, as soon as the receiver moves, they shoot their hands without moving their feet. So now if I shoot my hands, boom, and he goes, my feet are not in position to run with him, right? So you always want to be in position. So if you give me a release, you want to move your feet, then shoot your hands. That's the key. Because now, if the receiver gives you a release, your body's in position to make him go wide, and then you shoot your hand, now it's going to make it even more difficult for him to get to his route, right? So you want to force him to take, like I said, move him laterally. As he's going vertical, you're making it wider for him to get to where he needs to be. Now, you got to learn the correct hand to shoot based on the receiver's release. So if the receiver takes an inside release, you want to shoot the offhand jam, right? This is my offhand right here. Because now, look, he wants to go inside, my hips can still open and run with him. If I shoot the inside hand and he goes here, my hips is locked. So if he hit my hand, now I have to turn and go, right? So now we got to make sure if he goes here, goes inside, I shoot this hand and he hit this hand, boom, I'm still in great position so I could put that hand back. Or I could just get ready to run with him. A lot of DBs want to shoot two hands. Nothing's wrong with shooting two hands, but you got to be in position to shoot two hands. Only time you want to be able to shoot two hands if you're square with the receiver, right? So if I'm here and he gives me a release, I could be here. That's when I can shoot two hands. But if he goes out here, you don't want to shoot two hands because if you look at my hands right here, I'm like this and he's going this way, right? So if I have to move my feet to keep my two hands. This is the thing. So if I shoot two hands, boom, boom. Now if he goes either way, in or out, I got to adjust to one. So you want to go 2 to 1 if you do shoot two hands, right? 2 to 1, right? You don't want to maintain two hands and start going like this and now you're chasing, all right? So if he gives me a release, boom, 2, I'm moving my feet, then I'm going to 1. Now I'm able to go keep my eyes down the hip, force the receiver to move laterally more, wider release, and now I could get into transition to run with him and cover him. A lot of DBs struggle kick stepping. The importance of kick step, you got to understand how important and how much of a difference your kick step can do to cover the receiver and press, especially if you're going against a faster or a quicker receiver, right? You got to be able to move and match him, right? You want to meet him at a point, don't beat him at a point, right? So if he does an outside release, right, I shoot my hand, boom, you got to be able to kick step right here. So you want to be able to kick step. When we kick step, you want to stay square. You want to push and step, push, step, right? A lot of times people, with their kick step, they either shuffle, right? But now you're turning your hips towards him and now you could either take off or he could try to cut back underneath. If you stay square, boom, I'm here, boom, now I'm still able to turn and run here if I need to, or if he comes back, just shoot this hand and run with him. So a lot of DBs, when they're here, they do everything right here. Go on, move with him, he give me a release, boom, but right here, they stop their feet. Instead of kick stepping, they get to cross over, and now he cuts back for a slant. Now you have the speed turn, you're out of position.
Pharaoh, this receiving core has struggled throughout the year, but getting Josh Reynolds and bringing him in has really reinvigorated.
So that's why we want to kick step, because now it keeps you in the race a little bit longer, right? It keeps you in position for any counter move he does. If he does an outside release and come back inside, you're still in great position to cover it. The last part right here is when DBs don't keep your eyes on the receiver when the receiver is already released. So this is where we want to stay in our crossover, right? Our crossover sideways run, so we keep our eyes on the near hip. So if he's going, boom, I'm here, I want to be able to keep my eyes on the near hip, right? So if it's hip drop, boom, boom, we drop and we ready to break. Come on back, right? A lot of DBs, once they give a release and they're running, right, the eyes are looking up here. So now I see his head drop, but the first thing that dropped was his hips, right? So now his head dropped, but now I'm dropping and now I'm already delayed and I can't make a play, right? So you gotta make sure you keep your eyes on that near hip in your crossover run, right? So I'm going, boom, he drops his hip, boom, I'm here, and I'm ready to make a play on the ball. After you kick step, you get into your crossover sideways run, keeping your eyes low, keeping your pad level low. So now when you see that hip drop, boom, 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 we drop and we react, right? That's the biggest thing. Here is really what separates you from a lot of DBs, when you understand route concepts, when you understand routes, right? So if I'm impressed and I do everything right? Everything that we went over, right? I'm kick stepping, I'm moving. Now I'm in my crossover run, right? I'm keeping my eyes down the hip, right? My shoulders are pointed, facing the receiver. Now, this is what it really helps you right here. This tip right here is eliminating routes as you run with the receiver. So we pass 5 yards, right? 5, 10, 15, 5 yards is gone. All short routes is gone. So the hitch, the slant, the quick outs, gone, right? So now we're running. His hip hasn't dropped, right? His hips haven't dropped at 10 yards. So we eliminate those routes, the curls, right? The digs, the break for a post, right? Now, we get here, when we get to 15 yards, the only routes that really, and I say 15, I mean 15-ish yards, the only routes that really the receiver can run is either the comeback or the fade, right? So if his hip doesn't drop at 5, hip doesn't drop at 10, his hip doesn't drop at 15, right? We know it's a fade. So that's when we get into transition into that lean and locate.
Campbell, former high school sprinter, you're not going to outrun him, and he does a great job.
We're still in great position, right? We're still seeing here. We have 15. Okay, I'm here. You can shoot your hand at the hip, get into that lean, and locate. Look up for the ball, right? We don't look back because the ball's already in the air. We look up, and now we judge the ball. If the ball's going ahead of us, we cut him off. And then we become the receiver, right? We become the receiver. If we're still hip to hip and we're leaning and the ball is here and you can't find the ball quickly, right? Quickly, just man turn and play the receiver's hand. You can't find the ball, don't try to sit here trying to find the ball. And next thing you know, the receiver caught the ball and he's running. If you don't see it, quickly just man turn, get ready to play the receiver's hands. So that's why you should eliminate routes as you're covering with the receiver. You have to understand routes, right? Know the depth of routes when they ran, right? 5 yards, if we pass 5 yards, right? The hip hasn't dropped, we're eliminating the slant, the pitch, the speed outs, right? We get to 10 yards, his hip hasn't dropped, we eliminate the digs, the quick ends, right? The curls, right? Now we get to 15 yards, right? We already know it's either a comeback or a fade. So if his hip hasn't dropped 15-ish yards, we eliminate the comeback and we get into that lean and low. That right there is gonna help you make more plays when you understand routes and understand how the receiver run their route. Yep, so that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to drop a like on this video and share with everybody that you know that need DB help. Make sure to follow us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, and Twitch. Make sure to sub to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Like this video, share it, everything. And stay tuned for our next video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.